Welcome back to today's episode of Expert Showcase. We have Paul Michaels, and we're talking all about fueling your success in life with wellness. And folks, if you haven't watched Paul's Hero's Journey, you've got to go back and watch. It's going to give you a basis for
Absolutely.
why Paul is an expert to talk to you about this. It's going to show you what he went through, and it's going to show you how somebody who, what I would perceive as kind of active still ended up still ended up putting on some weight and then had a magical piece of metal, which you'll have to figure out what we're talking about by watching the first half of the episode. Had a magical piece of metal fall out of the sky and really changed his life because he made changes. He allowed it to be a tool to help him make changes. So in this segment, we're going to talk all about learning how to change how you do things, not what you do. So, Paul, give us a really quick overview of what we're going to be talking about here.
Okay, so basically, what I discovered was that I didn't want to change what I did because I love working on the computer. For me, it's a creative outlet, and it's just how I do my thing. Um, and so I needed to figure out how to make changes to what I did. And when you start to look at that, it's amazing how much there is to change. And you get creative. And what I've done with the Life Hacker Diet is I don't tell people, eat this, do that, do this. What I do is I give them a formula and examples of how they can make the changes. But it has to be based on what your life is like, what your lifestyle is like, and based on your personality. So what we're going to talk about is things that I've done that are a formula which you can then reinvent for yourself. And this is your journey, okay? And it's not for me to tell you how to do it or what to do. I'm going to show you how you can do it. And so really what I want people to think about is this is your story. This is your journey, and it's an adventure. And the end result is wonderful. It's great, and your life will be different. So we'll just go over that.
Epic. And specifically, we're going to be talking about two things that you need to quit doing right now. Simple strategies to getting exercises out of everything you do in your day, and how to reinvent the food you love. I love these topics, Paul. Let's go ahead and dive right in. Two things to quit doing right now. What are they? And let's start talking about them.
Well, the first thing is quit the gym. I know there are gym managers all over the world that are getting angry at me and calling their lawyers, but there's a reason for it. And the other thing is quit dieting, and the reason for that is that it doesn't work. And what all of this is about is reinventing your lifestyle, not mine, but yours. And when you do that, it becomes just natural. It's not something you have to think about. It's like, oh, I have to have another salad. No, it's not. It's like, oh, I love this meal, and it just so happens that it's good for me as well because I've made the changes to it. So the two things, quit the gym and quit dieting. And there's an asterisk there, which is now we are going to do the following so we can go into that.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that people should sit around all day and eat whatever they want. That's not what we're getting into.
and it's interesting. I think I know the answer to this question based on our previous conversation, based on your hero's journey. But what is the philosophy behind quitting the gym? Because while everybody watching probably loves that idea, there's got to be a philosophy behind why you would want to quit the gym, and what would that be?
It's very simple. We make certain times allotted to going to the gym. Okay, so we silo exercise, and then everything else we do in our day is not about exercise, it's about doing other things or not doing other things. So if this goes away, see that? It's gone away. If that goes away, you've got nothing. So what we need to do is we need to make that go away, get rid of that old concept, and then make everything exercise. okay? And you're like, people are groaning like I'm going to make them do calisthenics. And no, it's very simple. And I will give you three examples of how you can do that. So um, the first thing is, as I mentioned before in the earlier segment, I do the grocery shopping for the family. Um, so you burn a certain amount of calories when you go to the grocery store. It's just simple fact of life. You're walking around, all that sort of stuff. Well, how can you double it or triple it? You have to go grocery shopping. All right, well, let's make it work for you. So first thing is park at the furthest from the entrance parking
Yep.
spot, and I guarantee you it's always available. Okay,
unless you
so
or I
park
are
at
in,
the furthest one.
unless you or I are in that
Yeah,
same shopping center.
yeah, yeah. And then take the long way in to the store. When you're in the store, don't worry about being completely organized. I mean, if you have to go from one side of the store to the other side of the store for the third time, you can get frustrated about it, or you can say, awesome, I'm adding to my footsteps, right? Just a little shift in your thought process. The other thing is, rather than use paper and plastic bags, which are a pain in the ass to deal with when you get home and they're horrible for the environment, use reusable ones. And the reason for that is they become barbells, right?
Right.
They become exercise materials. So when you're loading your car, you can do some arm exercises and with your groceries, you need to be careful with the eggs, but with your groceries, and you're burning calories, you're physically, I can tell you, it's a good workout for the upper body and stuff, but you're taking something that had no meaning before, and because you're using reusable strong bags and you're lifting stuff, suddenly you're getting a bit of a workout.
Yeah.
Another thing, uh, a lot of us will take the shopping cart. Well, some people live in cities where they don't have cars. Again, we're going to take these ideas and reinvent them for everybody's life. But I happen to live in the suburbs and I have to drive to the supermarket. And when I load the car and I've done my calisthenics and people think I'm crazy, whatever, I don't care. Um, the shopping cart is now empty. Okay, so I have choices. Do I just leave it there and let somebody else deal with it? Well, no. See, my intention is I need to lose weight. I need to get as many calories burned as possible. So now I'm going to walk that shopping cart all the way into the supermarket, and I parked in the furthest spot, so it's a long way. And then I'm going to walk all the way back to the car and do that. And then when I get home, I'm going to exercise some more as I take the stuff into the house or into the apartment. And by the end of it, you're going to double or triple the number of calories that you've burned or footsteps you've taken. Oh, the other thing I do is my shopping, my grocery store is in a small mall, so there's a Target and some other stuff. So the other thing you can do is split up things. So a lot of supermarkets have a little pharmacy. Well, don't go to that pharmacy. Load the stuff into the car and then walk over to the Target or to the
Yeah.
drugstore or whatever it is and get that. And if there's another store that has something you need, walk over there. All these things that were always in front of you, you just didn't have the glasses to realize that these were opportunities. These are opportunities to make yourself healthier. And I guarantee you, you're going to double or triple what you do.
Yeah,
So that is
exactly.
one quick concept.
Yeah, exactly. And a
And
couple things to add to that, just real quick. One, there's brand new research coming out. In fact, it's the basis for some new exercise routines and equipment that says they're finding more and more that 1 minute of more strenuous exercise per hour might actually do more than focusing 10 or 15 minutes on strenuous exercise in that same hour. There's all this brand new research coming out, and what you're telling people to do follows right along with that. In other words, for those, and the reason I bring it up is because some people might be going, well, what does doing, even if I did 10 curls with 2 shopping bags, what does that do? And I'm here to tell you, even if you don't know Paul's name yet, and even if you don't know Life Hacker Diet yet, you will in the future. And there's
Nope.
there's other research out there that's now being done that's saying shorter might actually be better. The second thing I was going to say just real quick is another thing to add to the whole grocery thing is most people that I know of go directly to the aisle and they say, okay, I want to get these three things. I want to get in and out. I remember that there was a time, especially when I was in the process of losing weight, not only would I go in and park at the longest spot, but then you start at one end of the store and walk every single aisle, even if you don't need anything, and you just walk up and down, even if your cart's empty and people look
Yeah.
at you like, what the heck are you doing in this aisle? It's like
Yep.
you can 10x the number of steps you take in the store by literally changing and going directly to where you need to go to going up and down every single aisle.
So here's the big concept. I was going to get to it, but this is the thing that really ties it all together. You might think that, well, let's say you went to the grocery store normally and you burned 150 calories. Now you're burning 300 calories. Who cares? 300 calories is 150 more. Wait, if you go to the grocery store once or twice a week, let's say twice a week, and you do that twice a week, it goes from 300 calories, because 150 twice, to 600 calories. Okay, you do that 8 times a month. So 6 8's 4,800 calories. Okay, times that times 12, and you're talking close to 52,000 calories that you've burned just going to the grocery store for a year. Everything adds up, and our body works like that because you consume a certain amount of calories, and your body doesn't care if you burn it today, tomorrow, or next week. It's going to burn whatever you consume. So these things add up really quickly. So, and we just dealt with grocery shopping. I'm going to move now into commuting.
Well, and
Okay,
Paul,
a
let me
lot of us,
interrupt you. And
yeah,
let me interrupt you for one quick second. We've already started talking here. We started talking about two things to quit, and we're really moving into the next piece of this, which is simple strategies to getting exercise. I mean, that's kind of what we just went into with the shopping. So, in the commuting, I'm going to guess that's also a part of your simple strategies to getting exercise, right? So, let's go ahead and move into the second
absolutely.
part and talk more here about simple strategies to getting exercise. To watch the rest of this epic episode now, click on the link below the video. Do it now, you'll be glad you did. Are you still here? What are you waiting for? Watch the rest of this epic episode now by clicking on the link below the video.